going to bring in another guest now. For those of you that know a little bit or two about bowling, she's arguably the greatest women bowler that's lacing them up today. She is the only woman to ever win on the PBA Tour and the only woman to ever win a major, Kelly Kulick.
Hi, Randy.
What's up, girlfriend?
Not much, buddy. Hello.
It's good to see you.
You too.
How's things?
Things are good. Things are very good. Nice to see a populated crowd here this year.
Yeah, it's very busy. It's nice to see you coming over from the dark side and joining the force. That's good.
I saw the light and I gravitated towards it.
It's a very strong beacon. And well, I know that everybody at Storm, including myself, we're I guess glad to have you isn't strong enough. We are ecstatic to have you as part of our staff, and
thank you.
I look forward to, if I do get an opportunity to work with you. We've worked before together, and it's just always a pleasure just to hang around you and just to see you.
Well, Randy, I consider you very much a people person. I'm the same way.
Yes, you are.
Loosey-goosey, just everybody's a human being. We treat them all the same way, and how I want to be treated. And we know in this industry, in this sport, there's ups and the downs, and it's how you roll with it. It's the overall attitude of it, and I'd like to think I'm a positive person, and if I can influence somebody with my attitude, then it's going to benefit them. Yep.
Well, you're a great addition to an already great company, so we look forward to some great things coming from you. I'd like to see you win another tournament on the PBA Tour. That would be pretty cool.
I definitely have the desire. I've practiced a few weeks ago with some other friends, and I know I want to win again. That's inevitable. I can feel it. I want it bad enough. Making small little improvements with my swing. I definitely think the Storm bowling balls are just going to complement my game. Give me the clearance to the front, which we need out there on tour.
Right.
So mentally, I just got stronger, just trying to prepare and get ready for the upcoming season. Mike and I are going to head to the World Games right after the U.S. Open. So there's a lot to keep me active and keep me on top of my game to really carry it through the rest of the season.
And this new staff contract, has it kind of energized you a bit?
Absolutely, absolutely. The communication by far has been amazing. The feedback from me, where I'm going, where I've been, what I plan to do. Everybody wants to be involved with what I'm doing, and that's exciting to me. It really, really energizes me, what I want to bring, how I want to endorse the product and make other people believe in it and support it as well.
All right, now. You're gonna compete in the U.S. Open here in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
You've had some time now with your new equipment. What do you see? What do you like? What's some of your favorites?
Well, they all smell good.
Yes, they do.
Everybody told me the IQ Tour was going to be one of my favorite, and that definitely was the first ball in my bag that I go to.
The solid?
The solid, yeah.
The black one? The blue. Well, they call it blue. It looks black.
Blue black, yep. Blueberry, what is it? Or apple crisp?
Yeah.
It's the apple fritter I smell. So
makes me hungry every time I throw it.
I can remember them just by the smell alone.
Yeah.
So that ball definitely just gives me a smooth transition, a little bit higher RG for a strong ball, and it allows me to read the lane to the full capacity of it, all 60 feet of it. The other stuff is just so clean through the front, and to see it make that motion in the back end, which I haven't seen for a long time. My biggest compliment to it was I said I actually can see the ball go towards the 8-pin.
Right.
There's no deflection, very seldom, and I can play left to right, which I used to play so strongly and so well.
Right.
I can get back into my wheelhouse and do it all over again.
Nice. So you've got some equipment that's cleaner, something that allow you to open the lanes up and create that strong back end reaction when you need to.
Yeah. And I love it too because don't laugh at me, but I made a spreadsheet. I color coded what balls have the same core in it, and then I just changed the covers. One's R2S, one's R2X, which one's a little bit stronger. So I know when this ball's not working, if it's close, I can just adapt to it by staying in that same line based on the covers and the cores alone.
That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
I think I should probably do that too.
It's not hard. It's not hard.
I think I know the balls, but my biggest problem is not knowing which ball I should go to. I know this one hooks more. I know this one's a little cleaner. I know this one's going to be stronger down lane, blah, blah, blah. But, being out of the game for a while, I kind of lost touch with, all right, when this ball goes away, what do I transition to?
Sure. And in our game, that's the most important part of it, the transition.
Yeah, right.
If you're 2-3 frames behind it, forget it. You're lost that whole game. And that's the 190, 210 when everyone else is on the 230 pace.
Right. And so that, that's something I could actually see my ball going through the pins correctly for once. And like I said, it's been so long. but I could actually start seeing my ball go through the pins the right way. And when it did, my carry percentage was really good. And then all of a sudden, I started seeing the motion that I like to see, and all I did was ring 10s. And so I knew, I said, all right, I know you liked seeing that, but it's the wrong motion. Yeah. And so it was like for me, it was the difference between, I'll just use an example. It was at South Point at the Masters and the Senior Masters. And when I threw my Marvel Pearl, it was the ball that rung 10 every time. It was a little too long, and it had that nice motion in the back, but it was just too much. When I threw a Defiant Soul, it looked really smooth to me, and it struck every time. So I had to kind of retrain my brain or just basically talk myself into the fact that this is no good for me.
Yeah, it's no good for a lot of people anymore.
You know what I mean? And when I saw this really soft, subtle reaction, that's when I struck. And that was there on that particular oil pattern, but I still like seeing that motion. You know what I mean?
And the sad part, you have to be able to see that type of motion all the time,
right.
Whether you're playing up the gutter 5 to 10 area or you're playing 20, 25.
Right.
The joke, the concept is like kind of like the banana curve, what you see.
Right.
Or to me, it's almost like if you lay the ball down one area and it's going away from the pocket, it's like a suction cup. It's like a vacuum just pulling it back in a slow motion, and that's the shape. The hook phase is the longest phase of the skid hook roll.
Right.
So it's so hard to see with the misconception of the mid lane.
Right.
So when do you see it do it? Unless you have really light grips or a big logo or light logo, it's challenging for even the advanced bowlers.
Right. And so when you're at the foul line and you let go of it, you're seeing something, or your perception is seeing a certain motion. Del Ballard, or in my case in Dayton, Steve Todd standing behind me, and these guys are seeing something completely different. So I'm thinking this reaction's good, and they're like, no. dude, it's hooking earlier. It's doing, you know what I mean? It's kind of tough when you're at the foul line to see the correct motion. Yeah. So it seems like to me the only thing you can really rely on, one, is if you have consistent motion, and two, if it's knocking all 10 down.
Consistent motion is the key, yeah. The pocket is so deceiving because there's that sweet spot where you can hit it anywhere and strike all the time, and there's the one where some people have said a long time ago, try to leave a 4-pin for the right-handed bowler. Mm-hmm. At least then you know the ball is making the motion, it's gravitating towards the pocket, towards the 8-pin, whereas other ways you leave a flat 10 or a ringing 10. How do you decide?
Right. It's a great point. Flat 10s, especially for myself, very degrading in that I'm a man, and second, I'm throwing 16 pounds.
Ooh.
And I'm throwing 16 pounds to not leave a flat 10.
Yeah.
I'm still leave all the other stuff, but I just left more flat 10s with a 15-pounder. Well, now with 16, if I leave a flat 10, it's devastating. So as soon as I see a flat 10, that ball goes in the bag, and we try something else, something that'll beat a little bit more this way.
Just retain a little more energy, yeah.
Absolutely. So if you could only throw one storm ball right now for the entire U.S. Open, what would it be? We take everything else away from you. You only get this one ball.
It would probably be the Gold IQ Tour.
Nice. That ball's not too popular, is it?
No, it's terrible, yeah. No, it's the versatility of it. It's just the cover itself gives me the clean. There's so many places you can play on the lane with that ball. I think if I had to choose the one and only one, it would be that, just for that reason.
Plus, it matches your hair.
Butterscotch isn't bad either. It's all about the flavors.
Now, I just lost my train of thought. I was going to ask you something, and I just threw.
I'll fire in for a second.
Yeah, fire in.
When you're bowling against women, they break the lanes down one way. When you're bowling in the men's tournaments, they're breaking them down completely different. Is that the biggest challenge for you, reading the lanes when you're bowling in the men's tournament? It
is, and I obviously I don't think I've done a good enough job over the years being out on tour. I think our new thought process, instead of chasing it left because the men break down the front so much faster than the women do, I'm going into a zone that's totally unplayable right away. So either with the cleaner covers, I'm going to try to stay a little bit closer to the track area and see if I can just make a little alteration in my hand position or ball speed to allow me to not give up the pocket or lose my carry percentage. I can play in with the boys. I just know my carry percentage is a lot less than theirs is.
And that's one of the things that I talk about all the time. And when you watch these high rev guys, like a Belmonte, lofting 6th arrow with a rev rate at 600 or better, and his carry percentage is 80%. And I look at I look at myself and I said, if I was in there, my carry percentage would be 30% or 40%, maybe. And that's if I could. First of all, I'm not going to hit the pocket as often because I'm not very good at lofting the gutter. I can play 6-0. Once I run out of room, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't have enough axis rotation to do what Weber did at the Masters, which was, to me, just incredible to watch. Anticipating whether or not he'd run out of room.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And he got in. He got way in. Belmo's lofting. There's Weber with that axis rotation feeding the gold ball. And so because of Pete's axis rotation, in my opinion, he can play in with those guys because he can still create the angle and the entry angle that's needed to carry. You and I can get into 6-0. We can't get our balls to hit hard enough.
No. I mean, I just got measured. I'm 65 degrees of axis rotation. And Pete being almost 90, his slow speed, his softness, it just pushes through the front because of it.
Never reads the front part of the lane, and then when it comes off the end of the pattern, it goes sideways. So he can create angle from anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely has an advantage, especially the U.S. Open patterns when it's flatter. Same reason. The TSC they won this year. I mean,
I'm sorry, I said Masters. It was Tournament Champions.
Still, I mean, everybody has their one quality that they're good at, and Pete just recognizes when he should be at the highest level.
Yeah, he's and all of that at age 50.
Yeah. He's bowling better now than he did probably 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah. And what he did at last season's U.S. Open, we've seen him do it at the U.S. Open I don't know how many times, where everybody else's ball is reading early or reading the transition or reading the touchy front part of the lane at a typical U.S. Open oil pattern, as you know.
Yep.
Pete's ball just never sees the front.
Yeah. I mean, I've watched him bowl the U.S. Open a couple times where he's next to me, and he starts at 25 and never deviates from that area.
Right.
I mean, he can start there on the fresh, which is like, how does he do that?
Right.
But it's just his little trick off his hand.
And so with that being said, and you knowing this now and having equipment now that'll back end for you, that'll be cleaner through the front for you. I mean, what do you see now? What do you anticipate now when you have to make that big jump and get in? How much different is it going to be for you now with the new Storm equipment?
I've tried so long to manipulate the ball to do different things. I'm just happy to be able to go back to my A game and get my hand, because I can tilt it pretty decently. I can get some good axis rotation on it and get it closer, a little bit higher. So I've always been told my ball clears the front very cleanly. If I can just go back, get a little bit softer, make the angles wider, knowing that the balls are going to recover for me,
right,
my confidence level is going to go through the roof.
So you were constantly trying to manipulate the old stuff that you were using to try to get it to do what the Storm balls do with your natural game.
Absolutely. Again, the guys, they tear up the front because there's so many wide variety of players. They're stronger rev rates, higher ball speed that just match up to each other. And every time I moved inward, I just was almost moving into dirt or what I bowled at the sand.
Right.
Yeah.
When you bowled at the outdoor arena.
Yeah.
God, who can forget that? It was like weren't you using plastic?
Plastic.
Yeah, that was crazy. Outside the dust bowl, dust gets on the oil.
It looked like kitty litter.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know, for those of you that didn't see that, it was in Reno. Was it last year?
It was last year.
Last year in Reno, the Queens.
The U.S. Open.
The Women's U.S. Open, which you won.
Yep.
Using plastic.
Yeah.
The balls were going down the lanes basically on dirt. There was no oil left. You were throwing plastic. It was crazy. I was watching some of the women shoot a spare and missing it by 3 and 4 feet left and right. I mean, it was crazy. Crazy stuff. And
we've never seen anything like that. It was like shooting a spare for the first time.
Yeah.
Where do you stand? Where do you look? What do you try to shoot for? And, obviously single pin spares were just as challenging as anything else.
It's crazy.
Hey, take us back to the biggest moment in your career when you won the Tournament of Champions. Take us back to that last half hour and then what happened after that. I mean, what was that like?
There's always a time in an athlete's career where you're in the zone, and that by far was the second time. The first time was when I won the U.S. Open for the first time. Chris was not even a factor, and everyone said what was it like to bowl him. And I said, if I don't beat Mika, I don't have a chance at Chris. I was more nervous bowling Mika. And to get through that final match, I kept telling my rep at the time, Paul, I said, I just got to feel like I can throw it. If I know I can miss right and have a little friction to bring it back, I'll be fine. I need to know I can throw it and not try to manipulate it. And all through that time, that's all I thought about. What Chris did, it didn't matter. And, I watched what he was doing, but I never took it for granted because he's such a strong finisher. So even if I had a 50-pin lead, I was thinking it was only 5 pins. And I just stayed within each shot. That's all it was. It was totally amazing.
So you win the tournament, and then you go back and you bowl women's tournaments. And how much did that instill confidence and all the other things that make you great?
That year, it's just your swing becomes so loose, and whatever you think you're doing right is actually right. You know, you don't second guess anything. I need to get back to that feeling and that confidence level, because by far that's where we need to be, especially at this elite level. But it's everybody looked at me like I knew what I was doing, and I felt like I knew what I was doing. So all the time and energy and effort I put into knowing what the balls do, what the numbers mean, why do you drill it this way, listening to the ball reps, listening to the coaches, and putting it all together. Sometimes it can be negative, it can be overload, but I always thought knowledge was power, and in the end, it's going to make me a better person. So I have some regrets wishing I didn't do some of the things I did, but in the end, I always did it because I thought it was the right thing at the time.
Tell us a little bit about the award you just won for, was it Boys and Girls Clubs?
Yeah.
Hall of Fame? Tell us what happened there.
The Boys and Girls Club, it's a great program back home in New Jersey. It was when I was growing up, my older sisters just didn't want to be at home and sitting in the house watching TV or doing anything, so my mother signed them up for their camp, and I had a youth camp, and Russ Chiolo was there, and for about 3 or 4 years I attended the camp program, went back and I swam for the town in that same building, and they just recognized my efforts over the years and what I've accomplished. And to be in the Boys and Girls Club Hall of Fame is, if you see the celebrities and the people and the athletes and the astronauts that are there with inducted, I'm amongst a very high crowd of people.
Good stuff, good stuff. Kelly Kulick, Randy Pedersen, Mike Flanagan. He's milling around somewhere. We got Mike Chadwick at the helm of the mothership. Louis Ouimet managing the cameras. Kelly, biggest win for you in your career ever. What would you say that is?
Well, by the TSC, Tournament of Champions.
And when you bowled Chris in that title match, did you have a feeling that you were going to beat this guy? I mean, did you step up in that title match? I mean, you look. I remember that show. Obviously, I called the action. You looked so confident after getting through Mika. You looked so confident. You could just see it. And then I thought, Chris, unfortunately, has a bad history on television. And I said, Barnes is going to lose. Kelly's going to roll this guy because Barnes struggles on TV, and now he's going to bowl a woman, and that's going to factor in. And quite honestly, the only thing that really factored in was the fact that you shot 260 at him. But, I mean, was there a point when you started that title match, because you looked so confident and so focused, did you step up in the title match and go, you know what, I'm winning this?
I knew the night before I could do it.
Really?
Yeah, I knew. Once I got through Mika, I gave my mom a hug before the last match, and she's like, you got this. You got this. You could win this, and you could take it home. You can do this. And I think her total faith in me it just triggered something. It just made something snap that, I've been doing this for so long. My body knows what it has to do. It's just you go and you get the job done. And it was in a mindset that you don't feel very often or get to be in very often. But I think when I tripped that 4-pin in the 4th frame, I just watched the show not too long ago. It's amazing. Right. Then I see the 7-10, then I bounce back. And the 9th frame, when I struck, I posed the shot on the 9th frame. And before I posed a shot to finish off, and then as soon as I knew it was going to hit the pocket, I just started running out, and that was the title. That was it. I was secure. Sorry,
I got distracted by Jeff and John Lizzie, two great friends of mine I haven't seen in a while. It's good to see you guys. We'll have you up here. Later. Okay, buddy. Good seeing you guys. Jeff and John Lizzie, PBA champion Jeff Lizzie, his twin brother John.
Probably the best duo in the house for identical twins.
Yeah, they're identical twins. Good guys too.
Yeah. Scroggy here.
Mike and John, Mike and
Mark.
Mark, that's
Party
right.
at Scroggs.
Party at Scroggy's.
Yeah.
So, who's your favorite, all-time favorite color commentator for bowling?
This is a trick question.
No.
Well, the legendary. Chris Schenkel.
No, he's play-by-play.
Oh.
I'm color. So your choices are.
I get choices. A, B, C, D, E.
Your choices are Billy Whaley, Nelson Burton Jr., Marshall Holman, Brian Voss,
Norm Duke.
Me, Chris Barnes, and Mike Durbin, and Earl Anthony.
Mike Durbin.
Marshall Holman.
Those are your choices. Do you know that the guy sitting next to you has the second longest tenure of a color commentator in the history of our sport?
I believe that.
Yeah.
I was thinking that the other day.
Second longest.
So my choices are, I'm going to say letter D, Randy Pedersen.
Thank you. I was hoping you'd say that.
Okay, let's go into.
Hey, wait a minute.
Okay.
Hang on. Now ask me who my favorite female professional bowler is.
Who is your favorite female professional bowler? Your choices are.
Who are my choices?
Carolyn Doran Ballard.
Okay.
Wendy McPherson.
Yep.
Marion Ladewig.
Okay.
Kelly Kulick.
Yep.
And Tammy Turner.
Donna Adaback.
All right. So let me just start with who is the Ludwig? What?
And Marion Ludwig.
Yeah. No disrespect.
Don't know.
She's out.
Yeah, okay.
I love Wendy McPherson to death, but I'll move her to the side. I love Tammy Turner. Move her over there. It comes down between you and Honey Badger.
Honey Badger.
Yeah.
CDB?
It's between you and Honey Badger, but I'm going to take you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Hey, what's up, Josh Blanchard? Josh Blanchard.
Hi, Josh. Love the pants. Welcome.
Don't fall down in those. Josh Blanchard just stopped by. No. He just asked for an autograph. He's joking. Said no. He gets nothing.
So, Randy,
Yeah.
will you be participating in more senior events?
Yeah, I'm going to bowl Hammond. I'm going to present Joe Scarborough with his 900 ring, and then I'll bowl that event. And then I'll probably shut it down until next year.
Hey, we have the Honey Badger over here.
Yeah, Honey Badger.
And now the
Honey Badger, new shirt. Show it.
We got CDB over here, and we got Kelly in the booth. We have probably two of the greatest women bowlers of all time.
Not to mention,
they're both from Jersey.
Hey, not to mention two of the hottest professional
absolutely.
women bowlers ever. Yeah.
Yes, here you go ahead.
Okay, this is number 2 for today. This is the new Roto Gear Bling that Chris Schlemmer. I love my little Chris and my little Roger, and they got us some Roto Bling going on, and it seems to be a really hot item. So go to rotogear.com and you can purchase this.
Hey, is that a hoodie?
It is.
Nice.
Oh,
Hey,
well, I'm going to.
Hey, you want to come and sit here and talk with Kelly?
No, I like it right here.
No, come on.
I like it right here. I'm talking to Kelly right here.
Yeah, but I need a break. Hey, Honey Badger, Honey Badger, get in here.
I got to sign pictures too.
Honey Badger.
on.
Where did Honey Badger come from?
I don't know. I just called her.
Kelly, I want you to tell us
Uh-oh.
something about yourself that the audience doesn't know. And I think you know the answer that I want you to give. What is one of your passions besides bowling?
My other passion is cooking. I'm assuming-
Elaborate, please.
All right. Well, I like to dabble with the knife and the ingredients, as they say on Jersey Housewives. No, I love to cook. It's I get in the kitchen, I put Pandora on, and I like making up different recipes. So Carolyn, whenever I'm in Texas, I get to come to her house and she just hands over her kitchen to me. Says, "Go ahead."
It's kind of sweet. Now, okay, hold on. So, what is your favorite dish to cook?
Oh, favorite dish. I don't know. There's so many. What do you like that I've cooked?
The Italian and the shrimp.
The shrimp.
The shrimp thing you did. And then the sweet potato thing where you
Oh,
cut them in.
roasted sweet potatoes.
Yes, yes. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
So really, this is what I'm looking for. So next year, in the storm booth, we are going to have Kelly cook us up a little item
Oh, that would be great.
that we will have in the booth
hors d'oeuvres.
to sample.
Yep.
I think
Finger
we should
food.
have some hors d'oeuvres.
Sure.
We'll get her a little toaster oven. She'll get it going or
No
whatever.
problem. You got it.
So we're all going to do it because you know why? This is Digging Deep with CDB. This is our second segment, and my guest this segment is Kelly Kulick.
Yeah. I'm already thinking about it.
Digging Deep with CDB. That is the second episode, and this is going. We're gonna get this going. And Digging Deep is a new program that we're gonna do, and it's not only gonna be about bowling. Everybody will like talking about weight blocks and stuff, but digging deep with CDB is going to be talking about like Kelly cooking and talking about inspiration and talking about things that we think that the world needs.
Sure.
You know, we're in the position to do it, and the world needs some love right now, man. You know that. So.
Oh yeah.
And then who knows? Maybe Kelly can cook us some good food here next year.
Oh, I'd be happy to.
So we can. And I know you love pizza. You said that
I love
you
pizza,
love pizza. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll work on it. You guys give me a little toaster oven. I just like 4 or 5 ingredients. That's it.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Little finger food. I'm already thinking little like some tortillas, like some pita shells, just like toast them up with a little schmear. Yeah, you got
Flanagan, write that down. You're the new guy.
I already know. I got it. Hey, guys, Randy's out for a bit. Randy's been in the booth for quite a while, and he's taking a little bit of a break. We've given him lots of opportunity to sit on this broadcast, and he is loving it. I can't thank Randy Pedersen enough for being on board with anchoring down our broadcast, and Mike Chadwick and Louie really being part of Inside Bowling for the first time, and really sitting in here and being part of building everything out and showing me some things that we can do a little bit better. We're here at Bowl Expo. It's the 2013 version. Yep. Very exciting things here. We're talking with Kelly Kulick. I mean, Kelly and Mike and myself and Leanne and Gary and all the great folks that have already been here. We've got some new hires. Storm is thriving right now.
Yeah.
And, man, I'm excited about you being with us.
I am too. I'm just ready for, a new fire to start. I'm ready for a new storm to begin. And it's been a long time waiting. I think I've wanted to be here for a long time, and I don't know why, but it's
loyalty.
All that matters is
You're a loyal girl.
I am, and it's all that matters is that, it doesn't matter what age you are or what point in your career you're at. If you need to start over and you have the people that are willing to support you, make it happen, it's just uphill from there.
I was really impressed with you when you won that PVA title. What was it you kept saying to yourself when you were on the approach?
Oh, I don't know. In that time, I bowled you and the pins. It might have been something I said
Come
to
on,
myself.
Cal, throw it good.
Throw it
like
good,
that.
yeah. Come on, kid, come on. When I was younger and I played
That was
softball,
it.
when I played softball, the girl who was pitching on the mound, she was younger, she was freshman. I'd say, come on, kid, good shoot, kid, good shoot. Great pitch, and I just kept that mentality, so I just kept reiterating that to myself. Come on, kid, make a good shot. One good shot, good shoot, kid, good shoot. I'm a big believer of positive reinforcement.
Who were some of your, not only it doesn't need to be bowling, but who were some of your inspirations?
Within the industry bowling, growing up, I remember watching Amuleto Monticelli hook the lane. Steve Hoskins when he was really big, John Mazza. I've always adored Pete. I always wanted, actually my first title I wanted to be against Pete, just because the reputation he's had on the lanes and what he's done with the bowling ball. But my mom, my family, the people around me, I always tell myself to be successful is to surround yourself with good people, and good things will happen. I just always try to put myself in a situation where something good will come from it. And I have 2 older sisters. They never let me get away with anything as a kid. So I matured at a much faster pace than kids my own age. And I think perseverance over time, all the boys, this is going to sound bad, but all the boys that made fun of me as a kid saying tomboy, oh, you're just a jock or whatever, it did hurt me, but it just made me want to be better. So I guess some essence I have to thank them for that. But, I'm one of those kids. I wanted to do everything and still do. I want to try it at least once. I want to let nothing go unstood.
Did we cover on the broadcast already with Randy what you do also besides bowl?
My line dancing or the cooking? We went over cooking a minute ago.
Well, I thought that you have a tremendous background in auto mechanic.
Oh, yes. My father, we've had an auto body business for 45 years now, and this September. When the ladies' tour first folded, I actually worked for my father. I was fixing cars. I was taking bumpers off. I was putting them back on. I was taping vehicles for my dad and the guys to paint in the shop. And now, mainly, I'm more of a secretary. I keep track of all the invoices and everything. But, being beside him and learning what it's like to be in the automotive industry and, dealing with guys with parts, just like you would order bowling balls, you're ordering, a bumper, or a headlight assembly, I need this fuel pump and so forth. My dad's taught me a lot.
Getting back a little bit to the bowling, has there been a learning curve in the equipment in the product line, or are you getting it, or has there been a little bit of a curve
It's just seeing the motion. I still have to get the ball to pick up sooner in the mid lane, so it's just knowing what to go to, the variety. But I think because the cores are the same and the covers are just differently, I know one is going to go a little bit longer, one's going to be a little bit sooner, so that makes it even easier. But I don't think it'll be a big adjustment. I think I can, as long as I practice within the next 4 to 5 weeks for the U.S. Open, I'll be ready to make a good presence there.
Kelly, let me ask you something.
Yep.
Let's say we have a young girl watching today. She's 13 years old, averages 140. What Storm or Roto Grip ball would you recommend for her at this stage in her young career?
13 years old, 140. I would say something like in the Crossroad family, somewhere around there, maybe even a Lights Out, just because it's got not a lot of flair to it. It's not very smooth, and you can really read it very well for her. 13 years old, her average 140, so she's just missing about 2 spares a game, 3 spares a game to get her in that 180 zone. And that would probably be my best recommendation for her. Probably Crossroad, again, very versatile. Smells really good, maple syrup. I go towards the smells.
Okay, so let's take somebody matured a little bit to 16 years old, averaging 210 on walls, 180 on sport conditions.
Okay.
How many balls should they have, in your opinion, in their arsenal?
At that level, I'd say at least 4 bowling balls. 4, maybe 6 is pushing the envelope, but 4 to 6. Now these junior gold pullers are going out there with at least 6 bowling balls. So I would say anywhere from 4 to 6. I would definitely have 1 strong ball, 2 in the middle, and then 1 low end, and then the spare ball is just to complement it. But again, 180 just means shot making. The patterns are a little bit more wide open. You have to definitely be more of a shot maker. Yeah, that would be my suggestion.
Okay. Yeah, this is always good stuff. I think people want to know at home that can relate with it. Louis?
Bowling balls make people better, but skills make people better. You still have to, it all comes down to the ball, the bowler, and the lane.
Right.
And by putting the best equipment in their hand, it's definitely going to give them, again, the most advantage to executing.
What's your specs? How much reverse in your thumb, and what's your span, and what's your specs, drill specs?
My total span is right around 4 and 11/16. My fingers are 5/16 away in both fingers, 3/8 and a quarter. My thumb is actually 0 and an 1/8 left. So as the tour players and all the good players over time start to get their hand a little bit more relaxed, we tend to veer away from the reverse and get a little bit more forward, so the ball really sits in our hand, again giving us more versatility with our hand at the bottom of the swing.
Storm 300 here in the chat checks in and says, hello, Mike from Fresno, California. And yes, we do keep an eye on the chat as much as we can, as if you have any questions for Kelly or myself, we'd be more than happy to answer them about Storm, about tour life, about Kelly and her background and what she's been going through in her bowling career. And also, Kelly, I saw you in Detroit. Mm-hmm. You were in the paddock, the locker room, as the PBA calls it now. And you were in there, and I overheard you talking to someone about you've been practicing a lot. You're trying to get back to where you were. You felt like you had digressed a little bit. Now you've got the new Storm thing. What is it that you work on? I don't know if Randy already asked you this, but what is it that you're working on?
To me, the ball speed's always been an issue out here on tour for me. I'm about 17 and a half, and 18 is the max I can really throw. My swing just veers a little bit, so I'm just trying to make my swing drop into the slot a little bit cleaner, more direct rather than getting away from my body. That's going to give me a little bit more of a downswing, a little bit more of gravity being into my benefit than me fighting it. So I'm always working on my push away, the direction of it, but really just the versatility of my hand. Getting the ball to roll end over end when I'm playing further out towards the right, and getting it to tilt it up when I need to be further inside.
Switching gears now, what do you do for fun? Like what you go out of town to Vegas, you're here, where are you at? Are you at Circus playing the skee ball, or
no,
or where do you go?
Circuit skee ball. I'm pretty good at skee ball.
I bet you are.
Yeah.
I still think we should get professional bowlers all to line up and play a Storm skee ball game.
Oh, I think that would be awesome.
And see who can score the highest score. Give everybody like a roll of dimes.
Yeah.
You know, and you play dime skee ball.
Yeah.
Storm ball.
Well, in Vegas, I like to go to all the casinos. I like to see what each one is. They've changed. You know what the attractions are. Obviously, you see the tigers, the dolphins, the aquarium at Mandalay Bay is really spectacular.
Okay.
I think downtown.
I'm gonna write all this down.
The
Louie.
Golden Nugget has one of the best pools where the slide actually goes through the aquarium inside the hotel and then you go out to the pool.
Nice.
But Vegas, it's about for me, it's the food. I want to go to a different restaurant. I want to taste all the food. We wait in the steakhouse the other night. You know, Gordon Ramsay's got his burger joint. Bobby Flay's got his burger joint. Tom Colicchio has Kraft and MGM. I'm dying to go to one of these times. So for me, for Vegas, it's all about the food because other than New York City, I don't know where else you can get such a variety and eclectic assortment of food.
Yeah, absolutely. And back to that storm skee ball thing, we could have like little disturbs and all these little balls.
Honestly, because you think about it, the release, if you're just going like throwing a spare shot, it really comes down to accuracy. You have to have some skill level to it.
It really does.
Yeah, but
maybe a longer skee ball game.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah, that's possible. But I do like the country line dance.
You do?
Yeah, people make fun of me, but it's just, you know, there's something about a pair of blue jeans and a brown pair of boots and everything else, and then just great music in the background. I love it.
All right. Well, hey, you know what? We got a good idea here. We got everybody here joining us, and now joining us is Jan Schmidt. Hi, Jan. Oh, I guess we should turn on the mic. Mike Chadwick. Louie. Let's start this over. Joining us now from Epic Creative. You saw her on the LPBAWA, all that good stuff.
PWBA.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Now our newest board member, USBC.
Yeah, she is amazing. She does it all.
I don't. Only one title.
One title, but we screwed up the resume, but she's done everything. That's why we screwed it up, because we can't name it all at one time. Jan, how are you? How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm sorry. It's hard to hear over here. There's some music in the background.
I know.
Here.
We need
a lot happening
here. We need
here.
to give you a backpack. We need to give you a sound in your ear. But anyway, so tell us about Bowl Expo.
Bowl Expo. It's fantastic. I've been walking around. There's everything to see and do, and all the great equipment. The Storm booth is fantastic. A lot of celebrities here. A lot of pros here. Kelly, it's fantastic having Kelly here. I don't know what you guys have already talked about, because I'd ask Kelly some questions, but
yeah. Women Pro Bowler. We got two.
I
icons.
think it's tough being a women Pro Bowler, isn't it, Kelly?
It's very hard.
Yeah, and Kelly was one of the best out there and still is, and it's unfortunate for Kelly. From my perspective, I was out there for quite a few years, but Kelly just came out and was hitting her prime when the tour folded, so it was really unfortunate. And I know Kelly's expressed, wishing there was a place for her to showcase her skills.
Yeah.
And
Flanagan's working on it.
he is. Yeah. Well, that'll be great, and Kelly will be, I'm sure, you'll be the first one to jump in.
I will be the first to sign up, yeah.
I love it when that just comes in. Flanagan's working on it.
Yeah.
That's true, though.
Okay, so the trials and tribulations of week-to-week bowling on tour, though, I mean, is that something you would still consider doing at this point in your life?
Absolutely. I think, then it was a new adventure, but now I know it is a career. So for me, I would love to go back to the 24-week schedule. Just to see the country, see the road, have the group of gals that we did, and it was as competitive as we all were friends. But it's what I know. It's what I'm geared to do. I would do it for a little while. If I didn't like it, then I would find something else. But
yeah.
At least to try it again.
So did you like traveling city to city, or?
I did. Yeah.
So what do you think of the way the PBA is doing it now, kind of lumping them all, several events in one city? Is that something you would like doing, or would you prefer going around the country?
I understand why the PBA does it, but as an athlete, if you're not on for that week, it's a really bad week, and a third of your performance and point rankings is based on that 1 week alone. So I would like to go back. I mean, when you bowled on tour, it was if you had a bad week, you knew there was another week ahead of you that you can rebound and bowl even better, and
right.
That's how I kind of like to see it. I'd like to view it that way instead of going back to the same building and knowing that the guys that already bowl good there. I wanted to always be equal opportunity for everybody.
So I've been curious to ask this, how do you compare Team USA bowling to professional bowling? I mean, which one do you like better?
Team USA, it's all team. So it's more, even though you're competing as an individual, you're bowling as one, but you're really bowling as six. So whereas on tour, it's survival of the fittest. You're bowling for your own benefit and for yourself. So I don't know. I kind of like them both. I don't know if I can even decide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in a women's tour that was team?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah.
I think that's one way to really mold the girls and teach the newer ones coming up what it's really like. I know our last year on tour at John Summers' place where we had the collegiate bowlers, a lot of them didn't know the rules. I mean, I know I didn't know the rules right away, and I think it's almost like an internship program where let's educate them, they know what they need to do, and go on to the workforce.
And what about bowling on the men's tour? I don't know if you guys already talked about that.
No.
But how was that for you in comparison to the women's tour?
The moves are a lot quicker. The men just get away with more not high quality shots because of the rev rate and ball speed, where the women we have to be more accurate. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie. I'm starting to question if I can even continue to make a living at it, because I don't know if I can. These last 2 years alone, I haven't performed very well. I had the big success that 1 year, and I always thought I could be in the top 40 or top 30, and I haven't done that the last 2 years. So I don't know if I can compete against Jason Belmonte, the two-handed bowlers. I have to really start asking that question and seriously approach it.
I mean, they have to be realistic physically. There's a big difference between the men and the women. And so not only hand size and upper body strength is enormous. It's an enormous difference right there. So I think I've always believed that any of the women, the good women on tour like yourself, could compete against any of the men on tour on a given lane condition, a certain lane condition. But on the conditions that the PBA puts out, obviously, it's what's conducive for the men to bowl on.
Yes.
And I wonder if it would be possible for a woman to really go out and be competitive on a full-time basis.
I mean, I've tried it. There's only been a handful of us that have, and I've the only one to be able to do it year-round. Missy and Liz, I mean, I think Liz could be a little bit more competitive. With her style and she's able to play her A game for so much longer than I can. Just to do it year in, year around, I don't know if we'd ever be up there in points all the time, but we'd have the weeks where we all would excel. But it would just be 1 out of 7 weeks instead of 1 out of 3 weeks.
There are a couple new patterns, which I think they're, that 52-foot pattern, I think that would be a little bit more even. I really do, where the strength and the power doesn't, because all the time you have to get right in there. They break it down and then you have to jump in with them.
Yeah.
But some of these other patterns, they weren't able to do that. That 52-foot pattern was, Pete Weber was lining up on 20 and throwing it right up like 18. That's how tight everything was. So I think they're addressing that. I really do. But I know a couple of times, I was at every tour stop this year, and I saw you a couple of times, and I had to hand it to you for your perseverance, because you're 100 over and somebody else is 380 over, and every little move you make, and it's just got to be really, really rough.
Every breath you take, every move you make, I'll be watching you.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, you watched every move you made. Okay. What were some of the key things you did try to change to adjust to bowl with the PBA on the men's tour?
I try to get a little more access rotation, a little more access tilt, so the ball would clear down the lane but be a little bit more stronger in the back. That kind of didn't work too well. Ball speed was always a factor. We tried playing around a little bit, trying to go with lighter surfaces, 3,000, 4,000, maybe a little polish, so I could stay a little bit further to the right, but the ball just read the front and the mid lane too soon. So,
what do you think if it was a women's and men's tour that bowled completely together, side by side on the lanes, where you had an equal number of women and men competing? How do you think that the women would fare at that point?
25%.
Depends on what the patterns are. If it turns into a loft contest, you're screwed.
Well, I think for the women, the shorter patterns definitely favor us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The longer patterns where you see it'll be a lower percentage. But on the shorter pattern, God, I'd put Carolyn up there on any of them. Liz especially.
And Flanagan's pattern for the InsideBowling.com tournament, it was the first time, and he told me he was going to do it, and he made these guys move right. They never played inside of 10 for 18, 20-some games.
Yeah, and I made
It was awesome.
I made a great music video with Fallout Boy's Light 'Em Up song that you can go watch on YouTube, and you can see all these people playing the lanes, and you see them all
right
playing
up 4,
out.
right up 5, and squaring up.
Hey, guys, ladies, we love you guys. We appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you.
I promised Jeff Reese from the PBA, who has some exciting news about a 5-year deal with ESPN, that he could come on around 3:30. We're running a little late for him.
Okay.
But obviously you both will be around the rest of the day and tomorrow, right?
Sure.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we will have part 2 of this
You got it.
tomorrow
This
for
was
sure.
fun. Thank you.
Kelly
Thank
and
you.
Jan, we love you guys, and we love you being part of Storm.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.